Hello, everyone. Scotty White of World Combat Sports. Welcome, everyone who's tuned in. Give me a minute to get my co-host that's going to be on here today, and that will be Justin Austin from Soft Straight Talk. So I'm going to invite him in. We're going to talk about an important issue right now, man, that's going on with the COVID-19 situation with coronavirus. And how it's affecting combat sports. It's affecting basketball, baseball, football, all of that. It's a little bit off my line of direction when it comes to media reporting, but it's always good to have some diversity. You know what I'm saying? So give me a minute. I'm going to have my co-host come on today and talk about a lot of what's going on, man, in the sports. I mean, a lot of business is going to take a hit, not being able to have fans show up, being in there by themselves. How is it going to affect their play? All that. So I'm going to bring him on right quick. Hey, Justin, just let me know when you're in the chat, man. I sent you the link and everything. So just let me know when you're in the chat, man. Hopefully everybody's doing great. It's going to be a good subject, man. It's going to be a good talking point, for real. Because we just had our first death from the virus down here in Atlanta, Georgia. I know they have a ship that's docked somewhere down here in Georgia, and they have a quarantine and some people that's actually staying on Dobbins Air Force Base in the hospital, I believe, from those individuals that was affected by the virus. So a base that I usually frequent to go and visit the commissary, I'm gonna have to hold off on that. Real talk. I'm gonna have to hold off on that. What's going on? Ohio runs boxing. 6 people in Toronto have it. That's crazy. I'll let you know. Hey, give a shout out to Ohio Run Boxing, man. Make sure y'all follow him, subscribe on his YouTube channel, man. Always out here on the grind with boxing. Of course, he's representing the fighters out of Ohio, but he represents boxing in general. So, man, give a shout out to Ohio Run Boxing. You know what it is. Yeah. I heard about that, man. When I heard Tom Hanks and his wife is infected, and then I said, well, they probably do a lot of traveling outside the country and everything, and that's probably how they contracted it. But the good thing about it, they saying that it's treatable, and the primary people that's coming down with the virus is individuals who have strained immune systems or something like that. Like they have weakened immune systems. And also they saying also to the people who are extremely afraid, stressing themselves out and all that can work against you and actually combating the virus. If you're very stressed out and you're not eating right, you're scared to go out in public places and, stuff like that, that may indeed allow you to get it even quicker. But recently, we've seen people, the effect that it's having on professional sports, college sports, all around the globe. It's a global crisis, man, and it's so much that's going on with this because it's contagious from person to person and also airborne. It's not only just one of those mobile type of viruses that you can get from being in a particular area like China, Thailand, Asia, whatever, Australia. You can get it from anywhere now because people are bringing it back from over there to over here. So what does all that mean? We have a lot of foreign relations. We have a lot of embargo laws that we have with shipments from foreign countries. We have a lot of products, agriculture that comes from foreign countries. And that has been pretty much put on hold right now because they need to find out how to restrain this virus. And that's a huge deal right now. If we're getting clothes made, if we're getting certain types of food, whatever the case, and that shipment is coming over here to the U.S. ports, is definitely on hold right now until we find out how to contain this spread of the coronavirus. Ohio say, what's going on, Mark Gruber? What's up? What's up? Hey, shout out to the Gruber Mixed Martial Arts over there, Martinez, Georgia. Had a great time over there yesterday learning about him and his school, man. This man has a deep resume in mixed martial arts and martial arts, period, man. So I appreciated Mark yesterday being able to drop by the school and do some media on Dominique Roundtree. You know what it is. I look forward to seeing him going professional. And those of you that's tuned in, maybe you'll be able to tune in also around May if the card sticks. You know what I'm saying? If the card isn't interrupted, by the coronavirus and nothing like that. Stay tuned. Mark Gruber has a fighter that's probably going to be fighting. I don't know what weight he's going to be fighting. I think it's going to be junior featherweight or featherweight. You can let me know what weight he's going to be contending there, Mark. But thank you for the school entrance yesterday. It was a learning experience over there. Always educational. I'm still waiting on my co-host to come over here. He covers basketball, football extensively. I'm talking about in depth. And I really wanted to kind of piggyback off certain talking points about how the coronavirus is affecting professional sports and what it's going to do. How is it going to damage the sports that's being affected? How are they going to be able to survive? Because that's a lot of money being lost. Like the NCAA canceled their tournaments, period. It's not like they was going to have the team come in and play and there was nobody in there. They just canceled it, period. So this year we won't have an NCAA tournament. It's not the first time we went without. It's just wild from what's going on. Hopefully everything get restrained pretty quickly. I know in combat sports, man, the UFC is having a fight card in Brazil, and it's absolutely no gathering of the local fans that support mixed martial arts in Brazil. It's absolutely banned by the governor himself. He said there would absolutely be no public gathering in sports events, religious ceremonies. What else he put? Concerts, anything that deals with 100 people or more is banned. So the UFC is still carrying on with the card, with the staff, team, and the fighters on this particular fight card. And also that goes for Bellator too. Bellator just had their weigh-ins today. They were without an audience. They just had the fighters weigh in, announced, and that was it.
There we go.
What's going on, Justin? How you feel today, man? Hey, let me introduce one of my good friends, man, co-host Justin Austin from Soft Straight Talk, a real true expert when it comes to football, baseball, basketball from West Virginia. Thanks for dropping through, man. How you feel?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me, Scotty.
Hey, man, let's talk about this COVID-19, man, because I know you covering the NCAA, you covering professional basketball. How do you see it affecting the sport, man? Who do you think will be able to survive this anyway? Because it was just announced that 2 NBA players has tested for a confirmed coronavirus.
Right. Well, for my love of Corona, I'm trying to call it the Wuhan virus. That's what the name is. They try to give it that coronavirus name. It's killing me. But with Rudy Gobert being careless the way he was, joking around before he was diagnosed, touching microphones. They say he was in the locker room, touching people, touching their belongings and stuff like that, joking around. And now he turns out he has it. It just shook up everything to where irresponsibility was set in if play continues on. And now when you see NBA makes their stand, then college basketball waiting on them, NCAA, period, trying to make sure that they are not irresponsible. We should be getting something from them saying that the NCAA tournament is totally shut down. They're still planning on having the NCAA tournament, but you got conference tournaments are shut down. But now you got colleges like Duke and colleges like that are telling the NCAA, we're not playing in the tournament. So they're going to have to make the decision to say that we're not playing in the tournament. Baseball's made their decision that they're going to hold back opening day for 3 weeks. You got NBA saying that this could be a 30-day wait or longer. So, I mean, we should be concerned because us as people, we not immortal. So, I mean, like, we got to make sure we use the hand sanitizer, not touching our face and stuff like that we can catch it. I mean, I work for the State Department, and they're working on ways where we can work at home.
And I know that's good for you. You know what I'm saying? I know you ain't gonna be complaining talking about I'd rather be more efficient and productive to the business if I'm on site. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
got that right.
So with Rudy Gobert and the other guy who tested positive, so is the NBA suspended indefinitely for the rest of the season? I know we was talking about this the other day. Is it rest of the season or just for now?
Well, what is the plan is because Donovan Mitchell was the second player that got tested positive. He's a star in the NBA. Rudy Gobert's a star too. He's an all-star. So you got 2 players on the same team that got infected. So you're thinking about guys that's like Serge Ibaka was on a video. Rudy Gobert 2 days ago made a free throw. Serge Ibaka catches the ball and kisses the ball. So, I mean, that's what makes it to where it's like there's no more basketball, but the season is not canceled. It's suspended, meaning that they're going to have 3 options. When the season starts back up, it's possibly going to be playoffs right off the bat. It could be where they might have a few regular season games, then get to the playoffs. Or if it goes longer than that, then there's a possibility to where they have to make sure the season is ended. But it's hard to figure out who's going to be a champion or whatever. But the season will resume in some fashion. I'm guessing that the season is going to resume if it goes past March 16th or something like that. Then it could, April 16th. Then it could just start in the playoffs. It could just start straight playoffs.
Are these athletes getting paid, man? Why are they suspended?
No play, no pay.
What?
No pay, no play, no pay.
Man, this is like the government shutdown then.
That's what happens. When you got the CBA and you got the TV deals and stuff like that, you making money by each game played. And yes, it's guaranteed money like the NBA or baseball. You still got to play. And you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Shout out to Everything Boxing in the House, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow his page, quality content. Like I said before, Ohio Run Boxing, man, follow him. And if you don't tune in, if you up in the Augusta area or whatever, check out Grubel Mixed Martial Arts. Very solid academy up there. Multi-time champion. He also was a coach at the kickboxing Team USA kickboxing at the Worlds. He's did a whole lot for the game of mixed martial arts, and also he was basically undefeated for 2 years too, while he was collecting medals and championships to his credit. So man, y'all be sure to check him out if you want to go in there and get your skills up if you're in the Augusta area. GB Boxing Eddie would be having a sleepless night with his event to get shut down. We haven't even got onto that yet. You know, the boxing events that may get shut down. But hey, appreciate that info, man. I really thought they get paid like a little stipend or something, man.
Well, I'm pretty sure endorsements and things like that is going to help them out. Guys that save their money. I mean, it's not the NFL. It's not NFL game
Save
checks.
their money.
You know, that's what I'm saying. There's some guys that got some pretty good change in the bank. But you got guys that like to floss every day. I mean, C.J. McCollum did a tweet yesterday, and he said, you know, this is an important time to think about if something like this ends. If it ends to the offseason, you're not going to get paid. So you got guys that's not getting paid the big time bucks that may go out there and buy a ring, buy a car, buy their mama this and stuff like that. Could be hurting herself because Steven Jackson, a champion, a person who made good contract money in the NBA, he was saying how easy it can go. One full season. I mean, one off-season summer, you can spend your whole nest egg and not even know it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's the real facts.
Wow, amazing, man. I just learned something about, you know, the NBA, because I truly thought that if you look at the whole entire team, it's some teams. I mean, it's some players out there that really don't have the opportunity or the chance to go broke right now.
Right.
They have bills to pay. They have cars, mortgage, everything, man.
Entourages. Yeah. I mean, that's real. A guy that can open up your door, you're paying them. You know what I'm saying? A guy that's making sure that your social media is intact, you're paying that person. The person that's making sure that your computer stuff at home and whatever, you're paying that person. Cooks, chefs, and all that stuff like that. I mean, these guys got expenses around the clock, that money they don't even know to leave their pockets.
Well, I know the baseball fans are going to be extremely upset there, Justin, because, I mean, all the hot dogs they're going to miss. And you know, the beer and everything else is sitting over there in the stands. Hey, what I do see, man, in the separation from both of contact sports, so to speak, but I do have the opportunity to see the separation from basketball, football over to the mixed martial arts, and so forth, and boxing, because they're still going on with their card. Bellator is going on with theirs. The UFC is in Brazil right now. It's still actively scheduled. Yeah. And the Bellator.
Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson going to be fighting this weekend too. That's
Shakur Stevenson too. Are they going to have a gathering over there, or they changed?
I'm not. Wait, what's that again?
Shakur Stevenson boxing. Have you heard any word on if they're going to just have them fighting in there and keeping the fans out?
I didn't hear. I heard the schedule that's programming. I heard it's going down. Like, I mean, I didn't hear nothing about crowd leaving. I didn't hear nothing. Like they did the face off. People was there taking pictures and stuff like that. So I looked at it like boxing is like, hey, we are our own little thing, and we're gonna keep it going as usual.
Okay, I feel you. I want to guess though they may not have a gathering over there though, man. You know
I'm guessing this now. I mean, like my best guess, if you want to keep the fighter safe and if you're going to have the fight Saturday night, you're not going to sit there and have a whole bunch of people doing this and that. You're going to have everything, you know what I'm saying, your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
Did you hear that, you know, with this virus now, it's just not person to person, it's airborne now?
Yeah, it's airborne, man. I mean, like I listened to a doctor sitting there saying that, you know, with this certain disease, it's getting to the point to where like you got to wash your hands, sanitize your hands. If you touch anything, hand, doorknob, whatever, anything that just like you got to be extra careful. Like that's the thing. You can't. I just touched my face. I'm not even supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be extra careful. You cannot do nothing to where you know what I'm saying, to where like, you know, now fist bumps are now taken out of the equation. Now people tapping feet. You know what I'm saying?
Man. And at one point, that was considered a little bit disrespectful, the fist bump. Now it's mandatory.
Yeah, you know? Now it's mandatory. Now elbow bumping is now people bumping elbows with a long sleeve shirt.
Hey, I think it's anything necessary to keep yourself mentally, you know, stable, because any way you look at it, you'll get the virus. If you're meant to get it, you'll get it, man. You know what I'm saying?
There's 80,000 cases out there. 80,000 cases. And it's only been, I think it's been 2,000 deaths. I think that's what I've heard or something like that. Like something in that number. I was like, wow, that's crazy that something can get that quick. You know what I'm saying? But you got people that are feeling okay. They're feeling like it's a run-of-the-mill flu and stuff. People's immune systems are stronger. It's attacking older people. You got a lot of older events and stuff like that. People that have been in their 60s and stuff like that. They're canceling Coachella. Coachella's been canceled. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is making sure that Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks and his wife, they've had health issues before their diagnosis. So, they are a high risk. They're in Australia filming a movie, and now they got coronavirus, and now they're quarantined. You know, so they got them locked up. They're locked up.
Wow. The first death down here in Atlanta happened today. And also it was more so what you just mentioned. The man had health problems. And he was much older, 67 years old, and he had health problems. So he wasn't able to, get over the disease or whatever. So he ended up passing. But they saying like close to 60,000 has been cured already, been treated for the coronavirus.
Right. That's the number of saying like that's the doctor was sitting there saying we shouldn't cause a big worldwide panic. We should be concerned. But this is not attacking us like other maybe stuff to where, that might have wiped us out or stuff like that. But this is something that you have to be concerned about. But the steps they're making as far as getting us healthy, it seems like it's working. But it's just that it having events and having us together, big gatherings, it can widespread, and that's where it can be bad.
Okay, for sure, man. Everything boxers say the Shakur fight, but no crowd. So they're not gonna have a crowd.
She's not gonna have a crowd. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, I can stream and watch all day.
Yeah, they're gonna have to dig deep. Shakur going in there against a very good fighter, Miguel Moraga, and he's gonna have to, if one of them needs the crowd to channel that motivation, they won't see it this weekend.
Right. Well, one of the things that you experienced, Scotty, going to those fights and being up close and stuff like that, you got sweat, you got blood flying and stuff like that. We don't need the crowd there. We don't need that there. We don't need that in the atmosphere. So they're doing a smart thing there. But Shakur Stevenson fighting somebody that I'd say that pushed Lomachenko a little bit, made his fight awkward. And it gives the Shakur Stevenson a chance to show that, hey, I'm a man. I got a man body. I'm ready. I've been hitting people harder. I want to fight somebody that I can show people that I do belong moving up some, and I can bang a little bit. He's gonna be in the phone booth, I guarantee it. He's wanting to flex a little bit. I guarantee that's what Shakur Newark Stevenson wants to do.
Man, I agree, man. Shakur Stevenson, it's only a matter of time before he break out that division. I'm not sure if he's gonna try to unify the entire division, but I do believe he's definitely gonna go for Josh. They've been talking back and forth, chit-chattering. So I really believe he's going to try to scoop up that IBF and then possibly move up to the next division. That'll be good, man. That'll be good.
Yeah, really
move up to the next division.
Yes, because we like we talked about in the next few years. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing you said that I love is that these guys are going to move up. These big names, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. They're not going to settle down in these weight classes too long, and they're going to move up and they're going to battle each other, and it's going to be great for boxing. I'm telling you, these guys are the future.
Yeah, mention those three names, man. I know they're in different weight classes when it comes to Shakur Stevenson.
Yes.
Mention Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Who's the best out of the three?
Right now, after the last two knockouts, I gotta say Devin Haney. Devin Haney knocked that guy completely. It was the fight that was on DAZN, his first DAZN fight. Ryan Garcia, that left hook was mean. Shakur Stevenson, I think, is really special. I gotta go Devin Haney right now. I'm just his intent and then how he prepares and I can't knock Shakur Stevenson. I gotta put Ryan Garcia third in this equation, but I've got to go Haney, Shakur, and then Ryan Garcia.
Okay, I understand the last one.
Yeah.
And, I look at Shakur Stevenson actually fighting for his belt when he received it. But Devin Haney is a quality fighter, though. Yeah. He is a star in the sport. Absolutely. Yeah. And both of them will be superstars, in a quick amount of time. Yeah. But I like what I'm seeing with Shakur Stevenson, the way he's moving. How he's treating the sport right now, staying out of the spotlight on social media and getting the gym work in. The same with Devin Haney. We know he's in some type of recess with the WBC belt, right? He's injured. So whenever he decides to come back, we'll see who's up next for Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? If Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney was to fight, who do you see winning that fight?
Man, Devin Haney, his punch accuracy is so I love it. But Gervonta Davis is the one thing about him. If he gets into the mode to where I'm going to box you and break you down, his punches come with so much ferocity, man. That'd be a hell of a fight. I'm gonna have to say Tank Davis on that one because of the experience and punching power. They both got it, but just like Tank Davis put on his Twitter, he even actually told people himself, "Man, look how hard I punch. Like, look how hard I punch, man." So I mean, like, you look at something like that and you're just like, he has it. And I would say in that fight, I would give it to Tank.
Okay. I kind of agree right now, man. Seeing Tank fight on multiple occasions, man, I have to give the edge to Tank right now. But taking nothing away from Devin Haney, I'm just looking at the levels I think they're on. 2-time champion, then moving up to 135, becoming 3-time champion at a different weight class. You know what I'm saying? I have to give the edge to Gervonta Tank Davis right now when it comes to that. Karan Tucker was reading on the live thread that it was 62,671 recovered cases. I mean, that's a lot of cases for the coronavirus. Damn.
Yeah, that quick. I mean, this is crazy. That quick, and I'm glad that's crazy.
I mean, do we even know what the antidote is? I mean, come on. I mean, what is
the one outrageous thing I did hear was it was $1,400 just to get tested.
Whoa.
It's a $1,400 procedure to get tested. So health insurance companies are like,
yeah, the medical companies, man, they jumping for joy with that. I mean, even though you know how health insurance is right now, it's kind of bad. A lot of people don't have health insurance, but
it should be free.
$1,400 just to get tested.
Wow. And you got some states that don't even got. You got some states that don't even got the requirements to test. Don't got the kits. You know what I'm saying? Like it took West Virginia a little bit to get that. Now we've had 4 successful negative tests. You know what I'm saying? We have 4 negative people that tested or tested negative.
Well, hopefully nobody just don't start. I know there's a video surfacing out there where they show some Chinese residents. They was actually sneezing and wiping it on the freaking elevator numbers and the door and everything. And they was just wiping their nose and just, putting it on the wall and all that. So I hope we don't have anybody that's just trying to spread it maliciously.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Down here, especially in the U.S.
Right. I think it's just crazy the people that are being malicious like that, or did people with the jokes. I go back to Rudy Gobert, like, you don't know if you got it. It takes 10 days for it to set in. You can go get tested for it and might not have it, and then 10 days later you can have it. It takes that long for you to, for it to get in you. So I mean, like, for somebody to even make jokes or be malicious and try to rub their hands on stuff to be funny, that's not the way we should be doing it, man. Because I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to get rid of it. If there is 60,000 recovering cases, I don't want to try to get rid of it. I don't want to go through the hassle of catching it and saying I got it and all that stuff like that. That's why you're seeing people like Fred Hoiberg, who was coaching yesterday for college basketball. He went to the hospital after the game. Now, he came back just a common cold, but you're like, whoa, you freaking out. Gary Sanchez played for the Yankees. He had a fever, freaked out, went to the hospital, got tested. He's good. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's making people now to where they get those common colds or flus. Now they like, I taking medicine, I'll be right. They going straight to the hospital now.
Yeah, I hear you, man. And I heard Dr. Phil today. He was talking about, people need to stop, being overly paranoid about this, because what you're going to do is stress yourself out, and you're going to deplete your immune system from actually fighting off the virus and everything.
Yeah.
And then it came down to him doing his show today. He said he's even doing his show with no audience. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Dr. Phil, if you ain't telling people not to be worried, have an audience in there, man.
Exactly. Well, that's the one thing I said about Joel Osteen, because with that big tornado that happened, he closed his doors. You know what I'm saying? People was like that. So he left his doors open for this coronavirus day. So people, like I tell people, I said, he ain't gonna be the bad guy again. He's gonna be the good guy, make some money, but he's not, you know what I'm saying? He's opened his doors and say, hey, people can come in and still have church. And and somebody told me that, well, that's two different things. I'm like, well, he closes doors for the tornado. People jump down his back. If he had closed his doors for this, maybe people would have still. Now, maybe not. But he was like, hey, doors are open. Come on in. Joel Osteen. Trying to recover that image, man. So, I mean, any way you can.
Man, I was the one that was against him for closing his door because tornadoes, you need shelter, bro. You need shelter. Right. And he had a facility to get the food, the shelter.
Exactly. Exactly. He said,
no doors, doing whatever he was doing, man. I was like, damn. But yeah, he opened his doors for the coronavirus.
He ain't doing that again. He said doors are open 24/7. You want to come in, pray, whatever, doors are open. If you want to cough, come on and cough. Doors are open.
Man, that's what's up, man. I want to talk about a division that no one talk about that much, bro.
All right.
I want to talk about the 154-pound division with Jamel Charlo, Jaime McGill waiting in the midst, Jason Rosario.
No, we can't forget about Tony Harrison now. Hey.
Yeah, he's not gonna be coming up to fight anytime soon. He had 2 chances. He's gonna be chilling to his next go, right? But with Jamel Charlo, man, what's your respect factor on Jamel Charlo? Because it would be good to see him face Jason Rosario, but ultimately he has a rematch with Julian Williams, and the way Julian Williams looked, he looked bad. I don't see people crying for him not to take the rematch because he looked very bad in the stoppage. But he may indeed come back for the rematch. Do you see a better fight with Jamel Charlo and Sergey Derevyanchenko, or should you see Jamel Charlo fight somebody else in the sanctioned bodies? That makes sense, that can bring butts to the seats.
I mean, and that's the crazy thing about what I'm going to say about Jamel Charlo is that with his name and where he's at in boxing, if he wants to make big bucks and put butts in the seats, hopefully it's past his coronavirus, is that I think he should go down and fight at 147. Now, we're staying at 154. The only name I can say in 154 is Jaime McGill. Jaime McGill, you know what I'm saying? Or fight Elliot Derevyanchenko. You could fight you could fight Hurd. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, get in there with Jared Hurd. Like if that rematch with him and J-Rock doesn't happen. I mean, like, it's just the 154 division is got some names. But I just look at Charlo. If he want to put butts in the seats, he better go for a pretty big name and want people to see them bang. Because with the Tony Harrison situation, for me, to him, it dropped off some. His power has dropped off. But McGee and Charlo,
I'm pretty sure you ain't gonna be able to tell Jamel Charlo that.
I mean, I know, because his line's only. You can't tell them nothing. But I tell you what.
And keep running your mouth. Keep running your mouth.
But the thing is that he let a man that was no power beat him. And then on the second fight, he was losing that fight. All he had to do was catch him. And, it is not heavyweight boxing. This is 154. This is junior middleweight. And you got a box. And he is not doing that to where if he's going to run into a match where he's going to get his ass whooped. I mean, period. To where we're going to be like, is Charlo really that guy? So, I mean, that's why I hinted at him going to 147 to at least fight a big name there. You know what I'm saying? But Jaime McGill is the only name I can say Jamel Charlo should be getting in the ring with other than Derevyanchenko.
Stephen Wood said the same thing. McGill versus Charlo, that would be a banger. I believe so, too, with the way McGill has been fighting.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's slowing down. They just trying to slow the man down and make sure they move him correctly.
Film.
Yeah.
When you get film on people that it don't matter how good or bad you are. You get film on Jaime McGill. Jaime McGill came out of nowhere, and Jaime McGill started, looking like, oh, who is this guy? Is he a weight bully and all this stuff like that? You get film on him, and then the last 2 fights, he hasn't really looked all that great. So you see what happens there. And then you get a little popularity, fame. He moved over to the zone, and he had his name popping, Jaime McGill. That changes people, too. But, I think Jamel Charlo and McGill would be fireworks because those two would come in there ready to bang.
That was pretty different with you saying that Jamel Charlo moving down to 147. Mm-hmm. And for people who tuned in, they probably never heard that. Like, Jamel Charlo moving down to 147. What money would it be in it for him? Who can he fight for a super fight? We know they got the Crawford down there. We're gonna touch on that. the Andre Ward situation with Crawford, but you got Crawford down there. It wouldn't be worth it for him to face a Manny Pacquiao for the WBA. And his stablemate is Errol Spence, so it's only one fight for him at 47.
Errol Spence, they should just look each other in the eye, shake each other's hand, and say, "Hey, you want to make some money today? Do we want to make some money? Because who's made M's? Who's making the M's? Is Errol Spence making M's? I'm pretty sure he is. Is Jermell Charlo making M's? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you got to look at it like that, man. And they already had moments to where, because I remember Jermell Charlo was like, "Ain't no southpaw in the world can beat me. Ain't no southpaw can mess with me." And Errol Spence said, "I'm a southpaw." And he was like, "Well, so I mean, it ain't no about like Errol Spence probably like, bro, you ain't exempt." So it ain't like they Timothy Bradley and Terrence Crawford, because they had something where they would never fight. That's what them two had. But that looks a little different to me. That's why I said he'll go down to 147.
Well, since you mentioned, potentially, we just saying hypothetical. Jermell Charlo.
It's not serious. It's not I'm saying, yeah.
Who wins? Who wins that fight between Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo?
Errol Spence.
Oh, snap. You put Errol Spence over the bigger Charlo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And reason why is because Errol Spence could fight at 154. He could move up and fight Jermell Charlo up there. I'm confident at that.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but also I look at the way Sean Porter was turning him out the corner whenever he felt like it. Sean Porter was having great success with Errol Spence when it came to areas where I thought Errol Spence would dominate Sean Porter, but he didn't. And Sean Porter, the only thing about him, his style becomes a little bit predictable as the fight go along. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So Errol Spence was able to stay focused and catch him with the left hook and drop him, and that kind of gave him the edge to win the fight.
Right. And then here's the crazy thing about Sean Porter. He ain't no lightweight as far as to say that he was a football player. He sparred with middleweights. He sparred with 154 guys. So, I mean, he could actually fight Jermell Charlo. I mean, and do not say super well, but he would have that awkward style to make a fight awkward. That style of his, it makes a fight mucky. He mucks a fight up. I mean, that's hands down him. If he fights somebody if he fought Floyd at the time, it would muck it up. I mean, he's just one of those type of boxers.
Man, I hear you. Karan Tucker said Jermell need to fight for the belts or Hurd or move up Rosario or Teixeira. Everybody, not too many people's talking about Teixeira, man. You know what I'm saying? He's over there in the WBO. Not too many people talking about it. But Rosario taking that fight for the unification would be great. People will come out and see that because they're looking for Jermell Charlo to have a big fight. Hands down. I mean, Tony Harrison was a big fight, but that was his belt. That was Jermell's belt. We want to see him try to unify the division.
Right. That's the goal. Yeah.
Ohio Runs Boxing said Errol Spence started off at first 7 fights at 154. Me and Justin was talking about that the other night about Errol Spence starting off at freaking junior middleweight and then dropping down to 147. You're absolutely right. But right now, him having the WBC and the IBF title, I think it's a lot more for him to do. He said he want to unify the entire welterweight. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah. We'll see if it happens.
Hey, since we got Ohio Run Boxing, Don Dada in the building, everything boxing, I want to mention this Andre Ward top 10. Andre Ward top 10, man. Probably have a lot of people bemused. His number 1 was Terrence Crawford, y'all. His number 2 was Vasily Lomachenko. His number 3 was Canelo Alvarez. Number 4 was Tyson Fury. 5, Alexander Usyk. 6, I believe, was Naoya in Norway. 7 was Errol Spence. And 8 was who was 8?
8 was I believe Estrada was 8.
Yeah, 1 Estrada, and then 9 was Arthur Bellavid, and 10 was Manny Pacquiao. What's y'all take on Andre Ward's top 10? What's your take there, Justin, on the first 5?
The first 5, I had questions. My thing is that why not Canelo be number 1? I've been on that for about 2 months now, and I touch on that every so often. I thought Fury could be moved up. I thought Errol Spence could be moved up. It could shake it up to where Lomachenko can drop a little bit to say the 5 or out the top 5. I mean, is he really sizzling like that? Is Lomachenko really sizzling like that? So, I mean, Terrence Crawford is sizzling. Errol Spence sizzling, coming off of beating Sean Porter and stuff like that. I don't look at Loma as somebody like that to be that high. I don't see Canelo resting at 3. I just don't see that. You got a guy who since lost to Floyd, which was a long time ago. If you look at in the current state of what a pound for pound list can be made, updated, he has had the better run. He's made the most money. He's the top guy in the as far as the top draw. Why ain't he number 1? Why can't he be number 1?
Why they shading my man Canelo? Why they shading him? The clenbuterol situation was long ago. He received his suspension, came back, freaking beat Gennady Golovkin. Why they still shading him?
I think it's because of the.
I
think top rank Bob Arum with Terrence Crawford, and you have the way he was. I'm giving a compliment to Bob Arum. The way he managed Terrence Crawford to come up and do the ranks, HBO, and then go to ESPN. His face is still be seen and stuff like that. People know Terrence Crawford and they expect his fight style. He can box.
Hey, it's good you say that. Don't mean to cut you off, Justin. It's good you say that about Bob Arum. If that's the case, why is Terrence Crawford being heralded in the pound for pound list, but he can't get the big fights in his division though?
Because of events. I mean, you had Thurman was out 3 years. He was coming up in the ranks and had to fight Jeff Horn because Pacquiao couldn't beat him. You had Errol Spence in a car accident, so now he's going to take him 2 fights to even get in the ring with Terrence Crawford. Events that happen with the welterweight division is things out of people's control. So when you look at Terrence Crawford, you think of people he can fight, Porter, Garcia. He don't want to fight those guys. So, I mean, he's going to have to get in the ring with somebody, but he's got to quit fighting guys like he fought last time and then not look so good. So, I mean, it happens with events that happens like that. I mean, we didn't think Anthony Joshua was going to lose.
You saying that he's a quality freaking fighter overall. He's one of the best in boxing. But then you turn around and say, well, we're going to offer him another opponent that's like top whatever, and no one really knows him. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I know that's why I don't agree with him being number 1, because Terrence Crawford is a hell of a fighter, and his skills speaks for itself. But that doesn't make him number 1. That's why they was trying to do that with Lomachenko at number 1. Well, look at his skill. Look at the matrix. But he lost Salido, and he struggled with Linares, and he So he drops off the list a little bit. We got him rested at 4. But does he really need to be a 4? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like with Canelo Alvarez, it's like he's got so much better in his game. Defense, the jab, working off the jab, moving and stuff. I mean, like that man is now a fully complete fighter and showing off against Danny Jacobs, Kovalev, like you said, against moving up in weight classes and stuff like that. He beat Triple G, who was a top 10 pound for pound guy. And that's where I'll give Tyson Fury's credit, because he's beating guys that should be in the top. Like Wilder is to me a top 10 pound for pound guy who got knocked off. So Fury, who's been up there, been the lineal champion, took time off, came back and has won. Joshua's lost to Ruiz. He should be up higher. It's just that simple. I mean, and anyway, I mean, he's running through guys. He fought who was it? His last name. I always forget how to say his darn last name. He was on top at that point in time. The Inoue beat, and he deserves that spot, or to be up just maybe a tad bit higher. It's just certain guys you just look at to where they put them there in that spot because of what a analyst will say, or because of what this guy, he's so special, he's so this, whatever like that. I don't buy all that.
You know what I don't get, Justin, with Andre Ward's list is that if you're talking about O's on the record, the only one with one on his record is who? Vasily Lomachenko. It's not like it was a freaking draw, or it wasn't like it was a freaking headbutt or anything. He lost the fight, right? So Terrence Crawford, Canelo, Alexander Usyk.
Yeah.
I mean, who he fought? Chase Witherspoon?
That's what I'm saying.
On already.
That's what I'm saying. He beat Bellew. That's it. I mean, he beat Bellew. He won the Ali Trophy. I give him the Ali Trophy. But it's like, does he really need to be that high? He's 17-0, and he's unified through. He's the only guy who unified and was the undisputed cruiserweight champ. I give him that. I give him that, just like Terrence Crawford probably getting all his pumps up for unifying and being undisputed 140 champion, which I don't give that a whole lot of praise. You know that, Scotty.
I know that. You gotta give the junior welterweights some love, man. The junior welterweight is not the cruiserweight division, man.
I tried because with Regis Prograis, I was like, oh,
he failed us all.
That's why I say, man, I sit there and I run through all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, 140, maybe turn it up because we got this Taylor guy, we got Regis Prograis. Maybe Terrence Crawford should have stayed. You know what I'm saying? What if Josh Kelly moves up? Where's he been? So, I mean, is 140 really dope? I don't know. I don't look at it that way.
But see, not to jump off the Andre Ward pound for pound list just yet, but the top 1 through 7 all have O's on their record, though.
Yeah.
Except for Silly Lomachenko.
Yeah.
What is the criteria in keeping Lomachenko, who basically chose to become franchise champion, vacate the WBC instead of defending it, potentially against Teofimo Lopez? Did him making that move, Justin, did that kind of drop his stock as being one of the top pound for pound fighters? Yeah,
because he was number 1. People were saying flat out he's number 1. And, each inch by inch, you're going to lose that. Now, people thought that he's getting a little older because he came be a pro late. He started being pro at 30 years old. So, I mean, now he's, 32? Or am I correct? 33, something like that?
He's in his 30s. Yeah, he's about 32. Yeah, 33.
Yeah, so like people understand that, like, you got this time to be good for so long, and he's not fighting big guys, big names, and he's not going to be a guy to move up to 147. He's too small. So, I mean, like, are we going to keep putting him number 1 like a Rigondeaux or Chocolatito, and then he end up start getting beat, and then we're like, oh, man. But Canelo's still winning and still making the most money, or you got Terrence Crawford winning, making the most money. You got Errol Spence still winning. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're going to keep going with this Inoue, Lomachenko, Estrada, because Estrada, he's got a loss, don't he? Or is he undefeated? Yeah, he has 3 losses. So that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, like, some guys just get praise of what they can do in the ring. Some guys get praise for what we want to keep the name in our heads to stay popular because they going to end up being big name guys. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence, Usyk, who's trying to matchroom boxing, trying to David Haye, that's his man. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to blow him up. Alexander Usyk, when I got on Twitter the past 3 days, that's all I've seen.
Man, the man can't take a fight, though. Like, Usyk, he wants to come on to the big boys and play with the big boys in the heavyweight. But then again, you keep putting off the fight. The fight's been rescheduled with Derek Chisora once again. Yes. We already know what Derek Chisora consists of. We know him and Dillian White, they go all for nothing sometime, and they get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, we already know what he's about, but I respect the man, though.
That's why I say, like, Usyk and James the Beast Wilson that should be like a fight right there. But I know with James the Beast Wilson, he does everything he's doing, but he's not even in contention. I'm just saying
James Wilson right now. He's too fundamental now.
Right. Oh, well, I'm just saying what I'm saying is that if you want to show off your ability to show off to somebody that people see on a regular, like he's always on these commercials, on these things with underarm, you know what I'm saying? Like he's a person that people at least see. Yeah, he might not be in a ring fighting a whole lot, but if you put up James the Beast Wilson versus Alexander Usyk, a 6'3", 33-year-old heavyweight who's not going to beat Fury, Wilder, Joshua, can. Now he could probably beat Joshua in a sense because of that chin action, but can he really run the table at heavyweight, or is he just this person that unified a division and saying, hey, I'm just going to try to grab a heavyweight belt? Hopefully it's not against one of those guys up there. I mean, that's where I see him.
Yeah, he'll probably pick up a freaking regular title. Yeah. Or something like that, just to put his name and give it some merit. Joshua probably freaking vacate one of his titles without, actually trying to fight as mandatory. But Karan said Fury has only fought 2 credible opponents his entire career. Definitely not pound for pound top 10. And mentioning that, Tucker, it's been a touchy subject lately when it comes to Fury and the fight. I agree, man. I agree with Fury having a couple of quality opponents because I look at boxing like this, Justin. You may have the name on your resume, But is that name old and antiquated, or is it young? Are they in their prime? Are they competitive when you beat them?
Yeah, yeah.
Well as I do, he get a legit win over Klitschko.
Mm-hmm.
He went there and beat him. Yeah. But when it comes to Joshua, no, because he was out the sport for over a year and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, forget about all that. And then, of course, Deontay Wilder. You know, he defeated Deontay Wilder and in the 7th round. So therefore, I don't know what everybody else is looking at, because once he beat Klitschko, who else was there? Sefer Safari, Francisco Pianetta, Tom Schwartz, and Otto Wallin. You can't include those as top opponents.
You're not. And the one thing about that is with Tyson Fury being in heavyweight division, I mean, you could say the same thing about Wilder. You could say the same thing about Joshua. So, I mean, so basically you're saying we can't have a heavyweight in the top 10 pound for pound. We don't know who these guys Inoue beating. We don't know these guys that Strada's beating. We don't know these guys that like Chocolatito was beating or Lomachenko. Like I know Sosa was okay. I know Walters was proven an elite guy or something like that, but was he really elite like that? So, I mean, when you say, well, Fury's only beat 2 credible guys, so is the other guys. But you guess who hasn't beat only 2 credible people? There's 2 other guys. 3 other guys. Spence, Canelo, and Terrence Crawford. They beat more than 2 other credible guys.
That's true. Even though you're not giving Crawford credit for unifying, he
still beat. I give him Benavidez. I give him the unification of the 140 because I at least give him Molina. I do remember Molina.
Credit for Julio Sandago?
And who?
Julius Sandago, man.
Who? Oh, you talking about that one guy with the stretch arm? He looked like what's his name, JJ off of Good Times with Let's Do It Again, man. He looked like him when he was fighting. I'm gonna knock him the.
Damn, man, boy, wrong, man. You know, when he was in Alabama, man, cool cat, man. He's on the comeback. You know, damn.
Hey, look, the last fight I saw Julius Sandago in, it was in a gym. It was like in a basketball gym. Do not play with me about him making a comeback, okay?
No, we talk about 140, man. When he had the unified, you know, when Terrence Crawford stopped him. Terrence Crawford stopped him in 3 rounds, and Regis Prograis stopped him in 2.
Oof. And it was uglier. That's JJ, man. That is JJ off Good Times, man. That is Jimmy freaking Walker. That is Jimmy Walker right there, man. I'm good on that guy, but I give Terrence credit for staying in that division in unifying and then moving up to 147, beating Benavidez and kind of I give him praise for this. He is kind of strong armed the welterweight division while Errol Spence, his language wasn't correct. Now this doesn't affect pound for pound. I'm just saying his language. Him sitting there saying at times like, "Oh, I'll just go ahead and take the easy route and fight Porter and Garcia instead of fighting you." Or having Derek James sitting there saying, having Derek James sitting there saying, well, we're not ready to fight Terrence Crawford. It's just certain things you should say to make sure yourself stay confident and even though after a car accident and you're saying that you're good, you didn't break no bones, you're back in the gym. You shouldn't be afraid to sit there and say, hey, I'm ready for Terrence Crawford, but it's have the dialogue of saying, man, we ain't scared. In the dialogue of the Spence camp, they're not ready for Terrence Crawford. And that's not good. That's not good at all.
Karan said, you got to give Crawford credit for beating Ndongo, man. If you're going to give me credit for gunshot victim Benavidez, he has a point there, Justin.
Well, the one thing about Benavidez,
gunshot victim Benavidez. Damn.
The one thing about Benavidez is that he saw the 12th round. I don't know what round Ndongo saw.
Right. with I guess an injured leg, so to speak. You're right. He did show out, you know, all the way up to the 12th round. He did.
Yeah. I mean, he showed a different type of look to where Terrence Crawford kind of looked like he did in that Yorioka's Gamboa fight. And it always goes back to that. If somebody can make Loma look like how he did in Lenar's fight, then we say we're on to something. And then we see how that fight carries out. If Loma wins that fight, then we say he got out of another one. But how did he do it? Terrence Crawford, how did he get out of that with Benavidez? He ended up knocking him stone cold out in the sense of saying TKO. But I'm just saying, like, That's how you're supposed to do it. Same thing with his last fight. He had to sit there and etch it out in a way to where we might not have appreciated that fight, Terrence Crawford's last fight. We might not appreciate it like the other ones, but hey, he got out of there.
Man, in light of all the video footage you have seen on Tyson Fury glove flickering in the wind, I just want to get your take on, outside of the conversations that's been on social media, whatever, and not comparing it to Muhammad Ali, because we all know Muhammad Ali video has been circulating out there. I don't think it's a comparison in a sense to how the glove is wavering.
Yeah.
The form of the jab may be similarities, but we're talking about the glove itself for Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about all the speculation that's out there? I've been basically speaking on it. I've mentioned that I believe it's something just a little bit irregular about the glove itself. I don't give a damn about talking about the win. The win is certified. It's official, period. Deontay Wilder lost. That's that. But all my point is, if or did he win fairly, Tyson Fury? Did he? What's your take?
My take is this. When we all looking at that footage from the first fight, and we all look at the different footages and stuff like that, but then we hear about the hammer fight and him doing the same thing and stuff like that. With the second fight coming in, the only thing you can sit there and say was the PEDs because it came back so strong. Those tests came back confirmed clean. So when you look at this, like when we're trying to investigate what happened on the first fight to see if it happened on the second fight, and you look at the tape and he was hitting him behind the head with some open slap type punches. My first thing was, and I did a live the night after the fight, was that Tyson Fury, big hands guy who likes to open slap, even when he's sparring after doing the mitts, he pump and stuff like that. But when you see this zoomed in shot and it looks like his knuckle is right there at the glove, do you make your head spin because it's like, what's going to come up of it? That's why my dead end is right there at that point. Do I think he won fair and square? In my mind, from what I watched, yes. From what I watched from the first fight, the footage of the glove and how it was flinging back like that, sketchy. Did it do that in the second fight? I didn't see that too much. I just didn't.
Well, what we can hope for now, man, and I understand, man. I respect your input. I respect your input on that. I don't think, nor do I believe that the sanctioned body, especially the WBC, is going to do anything about that. And I hope not, because I want to see Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury lock up for a trilogy. If by chance the fight happens when it's supposed to.
In July,
I want to see them go back in there to battle and get the title back the right way so we can come back on here and talk about, that fight too.
Yeah.
I did see on here where Stephen Wood mentioned Crawford's last three opponents haven't been that good. Hey, we can agree on that. They've been okay or whatever. Porter was anything but easy for Spence. That's true. I don't think neither myself or Justin will debate that. Sean Porter wasn't easy, even though he gave us different looks. Sean Porter gave us a different look against Yordenis Ugas, and then he gave us a different look against Danny Garcia. And then he came up and gave that vintage Sean Porter to Errol Spence.
Because I don't know what that was against Adrian Granados. I don't know what that was. I mean, that was.
Notice I didn't mention Adrian Granados, right?
I wanted to because I only thing I was wanting to say about Sean Porter was like, bro, when you got the WBC and you was all happy and everything like that, wearing the green suit and stuff like that. I hate when fighters win belts and then that next fight they're kind of iffy, and I hated that for him. But Sean Porter is a respected fighter. And I think as far as the resume goes, it's better than what Terrence Crawford was able to put up with Errol Spence beating him. I mean, look at Thurman. Thurman fought 2 fights on his fight back, Lopez and Pacquiao. Those are better fights than what Crawford has had.
Yeah. Even though, Josito Lopez, you're right. I'll take that. Yeah.
And Josito Lopez is in the running for one of those guys. Am I not mistaken?
I'm pretty sure he's still at the top, because of the what he displayed against Pacquiao.
Yeah.
I mean, what he displayed against Thurman. So we'll see, man. We don't have no idea when Thurman's going to return. We have no idea. Yeah,
his tweets are real. He's trying to be like Tom Brady with his tweets and stuff like that. Like, oh, they all said I was done and all the stuff with still pictures and trying to be subliminal with what he's trying to say. But to get your ass back in the ring, period.
Uncle Ron said Crawford got to tell Big Bob to make the Kell Brook fight. What do you think about Kell Brook? He's sitting just outside the back door of top 5.
Yeah,
and, on one of the sanctioned bodies. But I know he's been trying to get his name back into the mix of being relevant.
Yes.
Do you believe that's an opponent that Terrence Crawford should fight?
Yeah, because here's the thing about that, man. I mean, like, when you think of somebody like Kell Brook who can actually box, his hands are really good. He can punch accurately. He was beating up Triple G. He just didn't have the power. His face is like Derrick Rose. I mean, he get hit here, orbital bone breaks there, get a cut here, laceration there. So those are the things that have been enabling him. He didn't sit there and flat out get outboxed by Errol Spence. He got beat up. So, I mean, if he can find a way to stay healthy and keep his face from scarring up and stuff like that, or find a way to get hit less with his boxing skill, I mean, like, he's not out of the running, but Terrence Crawford should beat a Kell Brook, but it would at least be something better on the resume. Because Kell Brook, when he really is ready to go, he can box, man. Like, he can really box.
Yeah, man. Kell Brook, his worst fights were against, the fight he had with Triple G when he moved up. And then when he moved back down to welterweight against Errol Spence.
Right. I mean, he beat Sean Porter when Sean Porter was supposed to be Showtime Sean Porter, undefeated. And Kell Brook was like, not in my house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I give him that respect. He just been out the picture, man.
Right.
He's been out the picture ever since losing his belt to Errol Spence with some notable opponents.
And that's what the cause and effect of 147 I was talking about earlier about just things happening. I mean, with the Errol Spence accident, now we got to wait to see what bum he's going to fight instead of fighting Terrence Crawford or Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao or Crawford is not going to be the next fight for that man.
I don't know. He might come out and say, I ain't taking the easy touch. That's what Errol Spence said. He said, I'm not taking a soft touch.
And then Derrick James came out.
Well, just don't. He gonna take a soft touch. Don't worry about that.
So, hey, who to believe? We don't know. But the welterweight division is going to have to take that time to get all the way back healthy and back right and people's minds right. I mean, promoters, you got to get this shit right, because whenever Floyd was in 147, fireworks were popping and people had their shit together. And it just seems like at this run at 147, the way this stacked up, it has been really topsy-turvy.
Man, speaking of topsy-turvy, your boy, Demetrius Andrade.
Hey.
Demetrius Andrade, whatever his name is.
Andrade.
Okay, Andrade, then.
There we go.
I really had to, he's moving all around now, for whatever reason. That's one of his favorite fighters. So will we be able to see Demetrius Andrade step in there with some quality opposition at middleweight, man? Like, what the hell is going on with Andrade? Like, he's like a Rodney Dangerfield of the middleweight division. What's going on with your boy?
First off, before I get started, thank you for bringing up Demetrius Andrade, a very talented southpaw boxer. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna let you talk real quick. I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think Billy Joe Sanders is going to pop dirty or do anything to mess up this fight with Canelo Alvarez? Money aside, I'm just saying, do you think that he's going to do anything to jeopardize this fight to where it does not go down?
At this point, learning from his discretions, no.
Okay. Did it happen against Demetrius Andrade?
He was all over the place. He was in the streets. He was just doing stupid shit. Yeah.
Did Jamal Charlo turn down $9 million to fight Demetrius Andrade? Now, okay. Did Triple G want to fight Demetrius Andrade? What was his excuse? I believe
Demetrius Andrade.
Yeah, I believe that was.
Why would Triple G want to fight Andrade?
Well, he's a middleweight. He lost to Triple G. He's trying to get himself back in it, but he fought a bum instead. My point is, you got a dangerous southpaw, slick style fighter who could probably beat you in 12 rounds. And yes.
Dangerous? Okay.
Not punching power dangerous. I'm talking about
dangerous about his last fight, though. What was dangerous about Demetrius Andrade's last fight?
You know what was dangerous about Demetrius Andrews' last fight is the fact that he was bored out of his mind, and he's tired of.
That's what it was. Oh,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah. Bored. Yeah. And what Shannon Sharp say? Yeah. Bored. Just bored.
And he was on that yak too much too.
Lunging with left hand hooks. I mean, like sitting there trying to knock the man out, not fighting the way he usually fights. He's a person that when he spars, he can imitate any boxer out there. If you go watch on YouTube, he was merely just having fun, but he was bored. I mean, he was bored in that sense of just playing around, and he got the win. He is not going to.
Before that, though, what about the fight before?
The fight before that, I think the fight before that, he looked a little bit more interested and still won the fight. The fight before that was the one I did not like. I think he fought that overseas, and I didn't like that fight that fight too much. I forgot who that fighter was. That his name was some foreign, but he didn't look that great. And I just think with the Billy Joe Saunders fight would have really showed his ability. A Jamal Charlo fight would show off his true ability. When at 147, when he thought that things could happen, he fought the big tall Alantez Fox guy, and he didn't get the chance to really show off that. So he had to move up, and he still got ran from the Charlo brothers. He got ran from Canelo Alvarez up to 168. You got guys that are finding ways to sit there and call this man uninteresting and goofy, and he runs and he don't want to be a businessman and stuff like that to not fight him, and it's really damaging to his career. And I always said this, and I said this to you on the phone. His big fight is going to be against Jamal Charlo, and he won't get to fight Canelo Alvarez. But that will be his trophy fight, and he will win that fight.
You know, it's not that many middleweights in the top 10. You know that, right?
I do not understand that.
I mean, like the Ring Magazine had Gennady Golovkin up there and Canelo Alvarez. Gennady Golovkin, the IBF champion, which we know he lost against Sergey Demianchico, they still have him floating around at number 7 in the Ring Magazine, pound for pound. So, you know, when it comes to Demetrius Andrade, man, could he actually get a fight with a Jamal Charlo or something like that, and people come out and see it like they did Jamel and Tony Harrison? Do you think that can happen with the lead up?
Yeah,
I'm just telling you, I don't think the community has recovered when he wore that pirate suit. I don't think people has recovered from that yet.
Well, Paul Revere wore it, and people liked it. They revered it.
First of all, your boy don't have that much love as being Paul Revere. Let's get that straight. Paul Revere, man. God damn, I thought more so damn pirate. The pirate.
Hey, he was representing for Boston, but my thing is this, man. I got a cousin that was not highly interested in boxing at the time. And when Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade was doing their little post-fight antics as far as going back and forth, and Jamel butting his way in that press conference when he came down the steps and they was going back and forth, and another time when they bumped heads, my cousin was like, when this fight happened, you better tell me. There was no other fight he wanted to see. Now he's a fan of Terrence Crawford, and he wants to see him and Spence. But there's no other fight he wants to see than Jamal Charlo, and that was years ago. And so if this fight got signed, I think due to time of them going back and forth, even from a year ago, it would make good attention.
So I'm reading Karan's comments, and he said, I'm always telling Justin, Andrade is the weakest, and I say the weakest, and I say the weakest at 160. Ain't fought nobody. No damn body. Then
and I broke their mind.
Don't do that, Andrade pulled out of signing a contract with Charlo.
That's what was said. Just like Manny Pacquiao's camp said that Floyd Mayweather was pulling out of negotiations. But what was really true in that?
Refused the contract to fight who? Jamal Charlo refused to fight who?
I think it was for 700 bands or something like that. Like, wasn't even no money. Like 500 bands, something like that. Just like Deontay Wilder got offered $12 million flat against Joshua. He turned it down. Dak Prescott just turned down a deal he felt was unfair, and he turned it down. And knowing that he could get franchise tax. So my point is that
Demetrius Andrade is not in the company of those individuals you just mentioned.
Well, look here, buddy.
Blasphemy.
Does he have a title belt?
Who?
Demetrius Andrade.
Who?
Demetrius Andrade.
Yeah, he's somehow, some way he
right.
cereal box for him, and they approved his freaking title to be sent to him, the WBO title. So yeah, he has the WBO. Yeah, you're right.
For those who watch The Sopranos, hey Scotty, let me tell you something. Real quick, man. You keep on calling that belt a paper champion belt or a cartoon belt, whatever like that. It's a belt. Eddie Hearn signed that man, and he put a belt around his waist.
Okay.
It's up to Golden Boy Promotions to really say, do we want to dispatch of this man real quick? Hey, you had no problem fighting Danny Jacobs. You had no problem fighting freaking, what was his name? I can't even remember his name when he moved up to 168. What was it? Liam Smith. So I'm just saying, like, you want to fight these guys, but you don't want to fight somebody named Demetrius Andrade, a southpaw. Eris Landry Lara was a southpaw, and it was what did Max Kellerman call that fight? It could have went either way. So I think it's a fear. I think it's a fear that he don't want to fight another southpaw there, Scotty.
A fear of who? Who don't want to?
Canelo.
Well, Canelo is not going to give Andrade any type of shine, like he's not going to give Jamal Charlo any type of shine. You know what I'm saying? Right. He feel like the names aren't big enough to step in the ring with him. You know what I'm saying? But somehow we hearing him facing Billy Joe Saunders, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how that's a name that fits well with Canelo and being a cash cow or whatever.
America and Great Britain has been making great business here lately, and that's why. They've been making great business here lately. Floyd won an invasion over there. It's been a great American Britain. Joshua came over here, invaded and lost and still got respect. Tyson Fury comes over, gets to sing songs after fights. It's a great business adventure between England and USA, and they're going to ride that till the wheels fall off.
Good point, man. I don't know what to think of the Charlos, to be honest, besides the lines only. I don't know why, if the way I talk about Demetrius Andrade being an easy, I mean, just like a simple name, not an easy name, but a simple name in the division. I don't know why Jamal Charlo won't go over there and fight him. Seriously, because Canelo Alvarez ain't about to give you a title shot.
No, he's not. And you're going to keep on trying to get main events fighting guys that we don't know not much about. And you got a history with Demetrius Andrade. You have a history with this person. Yep. And bigger more is that this fight can help out both names at the same damn time. So it's just a disservice that they don't want to get in the ring and fight, but it's not too bad. It's not too much of Demetrius Andrade's fault, in my opinion. And I want to say this to the people out there listening. I'm a big fan of Demetrius Andrade, but I'm not dumb. I know that he's on the bottom half of the division. I'm not sitting there saying that he's number one. I do think he deserves a fair shake to show off an ability to where it can be a point of a shocker, of an upset to Canelo. Or, you know what I'm saying? I can't say Triple G because I think
Canelo Alvarez, man.
Huh?
Demetrius ain't beating Canelo Alvarez.
I mean, I'm not sitting there saying that. Hey, look, all I'm saying is that it's a good chance to win. I'm gonna leave it at that. He has a good chance to win because of style.
A turtle has a good chance of beating a rabbit in a goddamn book.
Yeah. And with my mouth, I can sit there and say Demetrius Andrade got a good chance to win with a southpaw style because we seen what Lara was able to do. You go back and watch that tape, and some things could look different. You circle to your right, make Canelo go to his left. Will a body shots be that still important? Will he still work that jab? Will he get confused and hang there and not be first? Demetrius Andrade can be first. He can work off the jab and hit him 3 times, and maybe Canelo try to hit him on the exit. I see that happening a lot.
All right, and with your conviction, I see where you're going with it. But I see Demetrius Andrade being in the group of James Kirkland and Amir Khan when it comes to Canelo Alvarez.
If he got hit with one of those body shots, it could. It very much could. But I look at Demetrius Andrade to be a little bit more strong-willed than Amir Khan.
Strong-willed when it comes to the chin?
I don't see Demetrius Andrade quitting. I see Amir Khan taking that shot and like, I'm not getting up, or leaving himself open for that shot. I think Fear left himself open for that shot because he was getting in the body and he was flinching this way, and then Canelo just caught him with that right hand.
But
he caught the same type.
You say you don't see Demetrius Andrade quitting, right, against Canelo?
Yeah, I don't see him quit.
But what I'm saying is, like, did Amir Khan quit? Did James Kirkland quit?
No, what I'm saying is what Amir Khan did to where he's that weak bone is that he was flinching. He was flinching. He was flinching before that shot. He was scared to death. That's a quitter mind right there. That's somebody that's like Sonny Liston just couldn't wait to get in the ring with somebody like that. When you get in the ring with somebody who's not
flickering there, Justin, in his chin. The warning light to his chin was flickering. That's all.
Right. But how many punches did he get hit in that stomach before that punch came? And where was his hands at? Just like the guy he fought in Green, Callum Smith, was flinching. And when he went down for that body shot and he went up for that head shot, Canelo said, "Pop, body drop, match over." He has gotten better from that. Canelo has to put more punches around it and show more defense with the head movement. But that's the one thing he has. His ability is to make. Even Danny Jacobs was flinching for that body shot from the second round. I mean, it was early. He was like, "Oh my God," flinching. Like you can watch it.
Daniel Jacobs, man, I just can't allow him airtime at this point in time because I put Daniel Jacobs and Demetrius Andrade on the same pew for somebody to pray for them because they've had. I mean, Daniel Jacobs, I respect the hell out of him, but he went in there with Gennady Golovkin, didn't get it done. Went in there with Sergey Derevyanchenko, had issues. Went in there with Canelo Alvarez, just pumped the brakes, pressed the gas, pumped the brake. I don't know what the hell is going on with Daniel Jacobs. That was his time to make it to another level, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That was his opportunity.
That was his opportunity. I think the boxing skill from Danny Jacobs showed the best against Triple G because Triple G stood right in front of him. And I think chances after that with the Dusecki fight and then the Canelo fight, you just saw a different type of Danny Jacobs that just couldn't get off because guys were moving this time. And Canelo did a good job of moving against Danny Jacobs, and then he took him apart.
He's in a super
all about movement,
right?
Huh?
He moved up. Daniel Jacobs moved up, right?
I'm not, man, that's crazy. I kind of dropped Danny Jacobs off my bucket after he lost to Canelo. Cause he's off my radar.
Super middleweight, man.
Oh my God.
I think he did. I think he moved up to super middleweight, if I'm not mistaken.
Man. Well, hey, I wish him the best because I just see him now not being that successful any longer. I'm not trying to disrespect the man or nothing like that, but just kind of like I just don't see too much success from him.
Man, I'm gonna close it out. I know you got things to do, man. Hopefully,
Hey, before you go, I just want to say one thing real quick for somebody who I think is going to find success after having adversity. Big ups to Erickson Lubin. He's won 4 fights in a row since his knockout against Jermell Charlo. I like to see him flourish. He's a young kid that I think that's going to do good in the sport of boxing. I wanted to point that out there.
Hey, speaking of Lubin, hey y'all, I saw Lubin at the MGM, and man, I had one of the craziest moments, man. I think I told you this, Justin, when Kevin Kelly walked up, and I was like,
"Yeah,
Kelly, yo." Kevin Kelly come up, and he's like, "Where all the boxers at? Where all the boxers at?" I say, "They in media row. They in there." How do I get in there? I say, "You're a fighter. You just walk in there." You know what I'm saying? Fighters in there, but he was with some dude that was his manager or whatever.
Yeah.
So he was just out there talking, and I was kind of chit chatting. People was coming up, and then Lubin comes out of the media room.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes up, and we all right there talking in the MGM Grand, and Lubin kind of, I don't know, he started talking to Kevin Kelly, and Kevin Kelly was trying to explain to Erickson Lubin who he was, and Lubin said, "Who again?" Oh, okay, so when Kevin Kelly was gonna dap him up, lean in with the shoulder, shit, Lubin stiffed on him. Like, okay, he gave him the handshake and shit.
Yeah, like, you might got that coronavirus.
I was like, I wonder, do he truly know who Kevin Kelly is or not?
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: if Kevin Kelly didn't come in with glasses and puffed up eyes, nobody was gonna recognize that man because that was pretty much.
What did you say one time about Kevin Kelly doing the interview?
If you didn't recognize Kevin Kelly with puffy eyes, then you didn't know who Kevin Kelly was. That's why Erickson Lubin didn't know he was. If he came in with puffy eyes and shit, then he'd have been like, "Kevin, you the one to get." Yeah, I know who you are. I guarantee I know who you are now. You Kevin Kelly. That's the why. Kevin Kelly is probably the worst commentators I've heard called Sport of Boxing. I
He's
got
one
the
of the
chance
worst
to listen.
trash talkers too.
Yes, that too.
He told Hasim Ahmed he gonna smoke his boots when they was getting ready to fight. What brother you gonna say? I'm gonna smoke your boots.
I'm gonna smoke your boots, man. I mean, I guess you're gonna like put my breakfast to bed. I don't know what does that mean, Kevin Kelly? What does it mean? And you know, and listen to him call the Triple G. And no, it was Andre Ward versus Kovalev 1. I ordered the fight on my PS4, and that broadcast had him, Kevin Kelly, and another gentleman, and it was just awful. It was awful, man. I was just like, man, I should have just ordered the HBO, you know what I'm saying, and been ready to go. And I shouldn't. I should have. But I ordered it off my PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 4 I don't think has had that production ever again. But before you sign me off again, I wanted to say John Jones beat Dominic Reyes.
Not a chance.
John Jones beat Dominic Reyes.
The mixed martial artists that's out there, you know, the mixed martial artists, shout out to them. They still fighting during the coronavirus epidemic.
Yeah.
COVID-19. And, you know, wish them the best this weekend, man. Bellator and the Ultimate Fighting Championship, UFC. And, you know, Justin has made it perfectly clear that an optometrist is someone he needs to go visit.
Whoa.
When he's watching freaking fights, because he said that John Jones defeated Dominic Reyes, which I disagree.
Well, hey, your disagreement is telling me that you need to go see a specialist yourself. And all I'm going to say is that how in the heck did you thought that Dominic Reyes won that third round? I don't see it.
I mean, if John Jones would have felt that he was clearly ahead in that third round, he wouldn't have went for that stuffed takedown in the third at the end. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I don't know. His legs was open. He looked like a person that was winding down, tired, coming into the fourth, fifth. He didn't do much, so he thought I could steal a takedown at the end of this round because he's looking kind of sucking wind, mouth open, breathing. I just hit him with 2 clean shots. Why not go for it? You know what I'm saying? He's throwing wild. He's trying to wow the crowd in CompuBox numbers with throwing high volume punches, but not landing, I felt, harder shots than what John Jones was sticking him with leg kicks, body kicks, and stiff jabs and right hands. And in the 4th and 5th round, MMA fans, you got to beat the champ. I don't give a damn if you might be up with 3 rounds. You got to beat the champ in the 4th and 5th round.
I mean, I can't disagree with that. You do have to beat the champ. You do. But I just, you know, and John Jones is still the GOAT, you know what I'm saying? But when I look at like him and Israel Adesanya, I still see them with their wings out when they was running around the freaking cage flapping and shit.
Yeah, I admit to that a little bit. I admit to that.
Wow. I can even include Alexander Gustafsson when he was fighting Glover Teixeira.
Yes. I'm not a big fan of that either. I'm not a fan of that, not one bit. I'm not a fan of that ducking out the way and then taking off running to the other side of the cage. I'm not a fan of that, not one bit. But if that is what is supposed to be done in that, I mean, not if that is something allowed in the sport and don't get frowned upon, if you do it, hey, you do it. You like it, I love it. And just like with Joanna Jędrzejczyk, she didn't have to do that at all. But just in the 4th and 5th round, just like with that fight, 4th and 5th round, Wally Zhang, she showed up.
I agree.
She showed up. And that is a quintessential thing in mixed martial arts that I felt like ever since watching Shogun versus Lyoto Machida. The 4th and 5th round is that important to me, man.
Yeah.
But I think you've got it right.
3 rounds already. Like, you know, Dominic Reyes was ahead 3-0. You know, John Jones get 2 takedowns in the 4th or 5th, and people like, yeah, he did it. No, I don't think so.
Like I said, man, if John Jones is down 0-3 in that fight, call me Cedric the Entertainer. I don't know. My name ain't Justin Austin.
It's a cookout, bro. Hey, man, everybody who's tuning in, man. Hey, salute to Justin Austin for Soft Straight Talk, man. Any final words to your fans who support you, your supporters rather, who support you, man, and tell them where they can find you at and what media that you cover, man.
Hey man, check me out on Facebook. I'm very active there. You can find me at Soft Straight Talk Show, Justin Austin. Look me up there. Instagram, Soft Straight Talk Show. You can even find me on Snapchat, Soft Straight Talk Show. You can find me on Twitter, to where that's more of a me just talking. That's not me just covering sports. I'm talking. That's me right there. So you can find me there. I'm always giving updates, highlights. You can catch my show on Spotify, Anchor FM. You can catch me on Podbean, iTunes. I'm on all that. And I want to give a shout out to Notorious Records, Notorious Gooch. Go listen to that Gootopia. That's on Spotify as well. And I'm gonna give another shout out to Pick and Roll Podcast. I'm gonna give him another shout out. That's my last one right there. But Justin Austin on Facebook, Soft Straight Talk Show, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. You can find me.
And I appreciate you stopping in there, Justin Austin. And also, before one last word from me, man. If you ever want to jump on one of his podcasts and he's talking about boxing, be sure to mention Carissa Shields. That's his favorite fighter. Carissa.
Hey, look here.
Yeah, he's absolutely enamored and infatuated with Carissa Shields from Flint, Michigan. Hopefully she's tuning in. Justin Austin, hey, I gave you the plug, man. I'm out. I didn't even give him a chance to respond, man.
Hey, I want to thank you for letting me get that response in. All I'm going to say is that Scotty White, thank you for letting me come on your show. Scotty White, World Combat Sports is the SHIT. He has been all over fast tracking this, and y'all got to support this man, especially whenever he buys roses for Carissa Shields at least twice a week. I mean, who does that? I mean, so yo, I'm out, man. Y'all have a good one.
Right, take it easy. Hey, appreciate you stopping in, Justin, also for real. And combat sports is going to keep on going, man. During the midst of coronavirus, it's a bad deal, especially when it comes to combat sports and professional sports in general. Those supporters who tuned in, truly appreciate it. Sir Ken, I did see you in the building. Karan Tucker, Don Dada, salute to you. Ohio Run Boxing, everything boxing, salute. Mark Grubel, who stopped in earlier, salute to him. Y'all be sure to follow him if you're in the Georgia area. Stop by his school, man, and get some martial arts training for real. And also his fighter is going to be on the docket to contend. Dominic Roundtree, he's getting it in, getting his training in. Be on the lookout for that fighter coming out of the stable of Grubel Mixed Martial Arts. Until next time, people, salute to you. Be sure to follow me on all social media and, especially YouTube, IG, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, man. I'm trying to, get those subscribers up, of course. That's what kind of era we live in, social media era. So pass the word and subscribe to the channel, y'all. And I always appreciate your support. Be sure to turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.